Hello everyone, it's that teacher here, and today's lesson is going to be on decimal place value. Let's start learning. So I'm going to do a quick little recap, a refresher on what place value is. If you want to see an entire video on the first level of place value, I'll put it in the link at the end of the video. So this is level 2. It's slightly harder, but it'll be easy if you follow these simple steps. What place value is the value represented by a digit in a number based on its position in the number. That word position is extremely important. What position, what place does that number belong to? So I've written an example, 21,375. However, the difference with decimal place value, it involves a decimal place, which is that dark circle underneath. So 21,375 points, the decimal place, 567. So you can see that the 5, the first number after the decimal point, is called the tenths column. Followed by that, the second number, which would be the 6, is in the hundredths column. Finally, the 7 it's the third number after the decimal place, or the decimal place is the thousandths column. Now that word is a little bit of a tongue twister. Try it out. Thousandths. Try and say it 3 times. It's pretty hard. Thousandths. Okay. So you need to include that THS. That's what separates the last 3 place values. Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. It's really hard to say, but practice it at home. You might get a little giggle. Try and get your mum or something to say it 5 times in a row. See how she goes. So that is the decimal place, as I stated before. Now, the way I tell my students in class to remember the difference between place value and number value is place value. What place does that number live in? Place value. Where does it live? What column does it go? What digit does it belong to? What column does it belong to? Okay? So place value, you need to remember that first word and you'll never forget it. Now, it's very important to include all zeros. I said this in my previous video, but sometimes in maths, zeros are worthless. However, in place value, even though yes, they are worthless, they're important to the entire number. So, as you can see in the green, I've written down 2,340.456. If I didn't include that 0 in the middle, the number would be 243.46. Now, it's extremely different number. That 0, even in the thousandths column, whatever column, you have to include it. Otherwise, your number is going to be completely different. It's my turn now. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. I've included a place value chart, just so if you get stuck, you can pause it, have a look, try and follow, try and lay your numbers out underneath it. You can Google a whole bunch of different things, place value, print that thing out if you need a bit of help. So, A, 8,597, the 90 would be in the tens column. B, 12,324 point, the decimal place. Remember, there's a special name for the first number after the decimal place. It's called the tenths column. So that 5 would be in the tenths column. In C, you can see the 3 is the second number after the decimal place, which you can see in the yellow square is hundredths. Now, in D, 150,597.53, that 5 would be in the tens of thousands column. E, you can see it's the first number after the decimal point, which you know now is the tenths column. And finally, on F, you've got 1 in the final column. 3 numbers after the decimal place. As you can see in the picture here, it would be the thousandths column, the hard one to say, the third number after the decimal point. Now it's your turn. As always, girls and boys, pause the video here. You don't even have to write it down. Just get a blank bit of paper and work out the answers. Save yourself a bit of time. And now I'm going to show you what the answers are. Hopefully, flick back if you're confused of what I've said. go through it, try and answer these slides alone so that you know you're consolidating your understanding alone and that you'll be able to do this in class by yourself. I'm about to show you the answer slide. Okay, here it is. So, as you can see, here are the answers to the place value questions, the decimal place value. So, hopefully you've got all these answers correct. I know most of you will do that by following the simple steps. I've thrown a variety of different numbers just to make sure we weren't focusing on the final 3 digits. Even though this is a decimal place value lesson, it's important to practice the other numbers we've learned previously. So, thank you for coming to this lesson, watching this lesson. I'll see you soon. That's decimal place value.